Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 2 of Thursday Night Fights. This is the second in the series that I started last week, where I am broadcasting 5 PvP fights to YouTube. Originally, they were going to be 5 tournament fights, but after having completed Tournament 1, the one in which you recruit Deadpool, I'm going to be doing practice matches. The reason why I'm doing practice matches is because if I was to launch the second tournament, you would be able to see the conditional of PvP Season 2. That is something we want to hold under wraps and not expose until people get Beta 6. As of this point in time, there is no ETA on Beta 6. This footage is being recorded on Beta 5.9.1, which is a closed tester build. You may not get access to it. The most recent version that you can get is Beta 5.2, which will be linked down below. So again, you're not going to get 5.1, no ETA on Beta 6, no Android, iOS, or mobile versions. The most recent version you can get is 5.2. This is being filmed on 5.9. So let's go ahead and get these matches going. Last week I used Doctor Strange and Spider-Woman, which is a pretty good team that I was using for most of my, for all of Season 1, the Deadpool season. Today I'm going to be switching it up, and I will be switching it up every week so that these matches are entertaining. I'm going to maintain the blaster uniform on my agent, and I'm going to move in the techno-organic endoskeleton for combo setup. We're going to keep the rocket pistol, the Coulson's Revenge, and the Toolbox because it is going to provide some good use for Nightcrawler. So let's start the first match of the video. We are fighting Invisible Woman, Scarlet Witch, and a agent with the signpost at the ready. Probably a couple other pieces from that set, but it looks like it's mix and match as I see Phoenix gear on him. The Toolbox does exposed and dizzy on everybody. There is a specific reason for that. Nightcrawler really likes that. Both of these characters also really like combo setup, which is why the techno-organic endoskeleton is there. I'm going to open up with the rocket pistol because being on fire and bleeding is certainly a good way to go. Plus the initial damage, as you can see there, is quite peppy. So the enemy agent gets one shot, and you'll notice over here Nightcrawler's abilities. Chain Teleport has a 60% chance to perform a follow-up ambush against each enemy that has weakened, exposed, dizzy, or slowed. Shadow Dance does slowed and exposed, so we're going to go ahead and open with it because there's no scrappers. Is that not one of the best animated moves in the game combined with sound? Nightcrawler's level 9 has always been an impressive ability when it comes to a mixture of both sound design and actual animation and everything. Paragon Exploiter loves combo setup, dizzy, exposed, slowed, stunned, and or weakened. We've already talked about exposed and slowed. We know the agent can put out the combo setup, so can Bobby herself. She also puts out pressure points, which is dizzy, exposed, slowed, and weakened. So now you see how this team is going to work over here. She got converted into a tactician because of Scarlet Witch. And now it'll be my agent's turn again. Exposed and dizzy. We know the team likes that, so let's hit them with the Toolbox. And that's actually pretty solid damage coming from that weapon on my agent. Pretty good. Also, another one of my favorite Nightcrawler abilities over there with the combination of sound, animation, and he's going to town. I was so happy to do this setup because a lot of the Nightcrawlers that I run into on defense have been kicking ass and have been extremely threatening, and they're not even in their swashbuckler uniforms. So, yeah, that's pretty good. We do have a Quicksilver over here in Scrapper form, which could be a problem for Nightcrawler. We have Bruiser Hulk, which is good for me, and we have a Blaster Agent, which is it's just basically neutral for me. I don't want to give Quicksilver a Scrapper benefit, so opening up with Shadow Dance is not the way to go, but I am going to go ahead and see if I can land a stun on Hulk. I see the Hoarfrost Mace on the agent, which means the agent is trying to tank the Golden Screaming Eagle. Wow, the GSE. That could be a problem. The GSE does a lot of damage, especially in early game content. The Hoarfrost Mace should make him protect, but I believe that ability that Nightcrawler did... Yep, yeah, that's okay. Alright, well, we've gotten rid of the Protector. I was aiming for Hulk so I can get my crits, but we've taken out the enemy agent who is protecting, so that is a benefit to itself. Bobby is a generalist at this point because she has not been hit. We have Weakened over there, which is one of the ones for Paragon Exploiter. We have just Weak Point over there. I think I can take out Hulk with this ability, so I'm going to go ahead and hit him with it. Yeah! That was almost a one-shot. Even if he was at full health, that was almost a one-shot. Mockingbird is really strong. I don't think I would have ever imagined that I would have said Mockingbird is somebody perhaps that you want to take into PvP or you want to take on missions with you, but if you get some pressure points out on the enemy team, and of course one of the best ways of doing that is Havoc's Plasma Spheres, but you do have other abilities that do it. The Toolbox from her own Spec Ops is a good way to go. Bobby's damage really gets up there. Briefly, I'll show you how I have them ISO'd. For Nightcrawler, he's basically running a bunch of chips. I've only ISO'd him for the PvP, so he's not in the best of gear, but it's, you know, it is pretty solid. He's running 5-bar attack and 4 bars and everything else except for defense. I would be pushing him through to evasion for his defensive statistic. And then Bobby, she is 5-bar stam, 5-bar attack, 5-bar accuracy, so good crit, good attack, and a 4-bar health. I do not have her kitted out for any defense as of yet. For the last two, I think I would probably pick defense over evasion. To me, Nightcrawler having high evasion and being an infiltrator seems very thematic. Alright, we're going to get into our third fight, and we are fighting the same agent again. Something that happens a little bit in these betas. They certainly happened when the game was live, but it does happen a little bit here in the betas. The agent is probably going to tank. No debuffs are out, so I may as well get out pressure points on the enemy agent. Quicksilver, naturally being a scrapper, does go for the infiltrator. The follow-up for Quicksilver is an AoE. You'll notice it was animated as hitting everybody, but it only did damage to Nightcrawler. That is a bug. That is something that will be fixed in the next version. Enemy agent tanks again. Dies for her efforts. Since he already has his Scrapper benefit out, we may as well open up with Shadow Dance. get those pressure point debuffs out there. This time, Hulk is not stunned, so this could be potentially bad. Just a thunderclap. We only got staggered, no big deal, and we now have our critical attacks. Thanks to that. Bobby is a blaster. Bobby is going to Mocking Blow the Hulk. And again, that one would have been a one-shot minus about 40 hit points. That's crazy. I would not recommend, when Beta 6 drops, I would not recommend going into the Mockingbird Spec Ops until you are maybe in the low 80s or high 70s for your agent. There are tough fights in there, including the infamous Hammerhead one, where you were forced to bring in Black Widow, who usually gets her ass beat on that one because there are scrappers and she's an infiltrator. Best thing I could recommend there is Doctor Strange for the sustain. Be ready to use some zaps in that fight to kill it quickly. But once you get Bobby, I would say it is a smart thing to do that if you have not yet beaten the first tournament, to get Bobby leveled up, kitted up, and start using her with some pressure point debuffs. That Mocking Blow is bringing in huge numbers, and I don't really remember if she did quite that early on in Marvel Avengers Alliance back in the day, 2012, 2013. But yeah, I must say I'm very impressed by Bobby's damage. Here we have some Phoenix gear. We've got Defender, Doctor Strange, so that's a very good suit. We have Scrapper, Ghost Rider. Nightcrawler is going first. Again, I want to hold off on the Scrapper benefit there, so let's go ahead and try to... Oh, actually, let's get our Infiltrator bonus off of Tactician Strange. He recharges. Okay, that works for me. I think we want Doctor Strange out of there quickly because of the sustain he can give the team with the Terrorizing boost, which is healing for a lot right now. I would risk the Tactician bonus by trying to plug him with the rocket pistol, so let's see how this goes. It's close. He didn't get a turn off of that. That's a little bit of a bug. Class benefits should be completely sealed up by the time Beta 6 drops, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. I do not have a lot of pressure point debuffs out there other than weak point, but again, let's just go ahead and try and get rid of Doctor Strange. Bobby is now an Infiltrator too, which could be bad for Ghost Rider, or could be bad for her against Ghost Rider. But hopefully... Ooh, this is a tough team. Coulson's Revenge and that Arc Shield. Impressive. We cannot get the stun. We don't want to do the AoE again because of Ghost Rider, so it looks like we're gonna work the agent down a little bit here. Nice extra ambush attack from Nightcrawler. Nice. Oh boy. Nightcrawler understood the assignment. He took care of business. Gonna bust out the Coulson's Revenge for massive damage, and Ghost Rider doesn't even have an action. It's big. So we are at 4 attacks. We are at 4 wins. This will be the 5th and last one for the video. I hope you guys are certainly impressed by this team, as am I. I have not used them in any PvP yet. This is all very raw for me. You're seeing my, basic initial reactions over here. I have not teamed these two up yet, and I must say, pretty happy about it. I must also say, if this was 2012 and I was setting a defensive team in PvP, I would probably do something similar. It's working out very well. No scrappers, so we can open up with the Shadow Dance, get everybody slowed and exposed, and the Magneto shield goes out. This is the one that is supposed to give an extra turn when the shield breaks. Good item for defense, and I really need to start clicking the enemy team when I do that ability. Let's try to go for a stun on Scarlet Witch so that we don't have to deal with the Hex Spheres. We get the stun. Perfect. We're going to shoot the agent with the rocket pistol, so I get my crits. No, this is not your video. This is not your YouTube. Sometimes this happens. It has been a hot moment since I've seen this. I think it actually has to do with the shield. We're going to let it play out, as I do believe if we give it a little bit of time over here, this does resolve. I think what it's doing is it's got an error that is being thrown in the background, and Unity is choking on it a little bit. It's getting slower. If we don't recover after this burning travels up, I may quit the game and go back in. We have to deal with it on everybody. Okay. I'm going to quit the game and go back in. I'm waiting for that would be a really long time. I don't know if that particular issue is known by the team or not. I'm going to have to check the list. But I think I've only seen that maybe one other time recently, and it's actually been several weeks since I've seen that. It may be due to the shield. No big deal. We will just go back in and do one more battle. And see what we get. Okay, it is the Fury team. I have seen this team before. I feel bad for this agent. He tends to lose most of his health simply because of the kit that he's wearing. There is a tactician over there, so rather than opening up with Shadow Dance, I'm going to get my tactical bonus off of P5 Emma. Psychic Tap, aha! But I am mindless because of the Techno-Organic Endoskeleton. Glory be to the Techno-Organic Endoskeleton. All praise Hypnotoad. I was using that for combo setup for the other two, but I did know it would have some value perhaps for bleeding. I totally did not expect in this video to get a psychic immunity, but take that, Emma Frost, and you are fucking mental anguish. Now go back, and if I could go back in time and show my 2015 self that, when Infiltrator P5 Emma made a huge resurgence with the ISO that allowed her to pre-fire her level 1 ability before the enemy attack landed. I think that version of me would be quite happy as I laughed at Emma trying to psychic tap me there. Alright, now we can open up with Shadow Dance. Emma's gonna die to dots. Oh, seeing that mindless go off is glorious. Oh, yeah. That is the Rocket Raccoon. Oh, yeah, right there. Watching him walk through all of Emma's bullshit. Okay, we got a combo set up that is either going to be for Mockingbird or Nightcrawler to take advantage of. It looks like Bobby's going to get it. Combo setup is a Paragon exploit over here, so it should be big numbers. Actually, that's kind of tame. It's a big number, but it's still tame for the rest of what she's done in this video. And yeah, there you go. For those of you who are wondering, since we are referencing those good ISOs that we got from the mid-game to the end of the game, like the Elite ISO for Bruisers with the Scutcheon, that Infiltrator ISO that allowed them to pre-attack when they had the Infiltrator benefit going on over there. They will show up, but they will show up in whatever beta handles the Season 2 content. I am very frightened of the wickedness and the evil of the PvP team creating defensive teams that get to use the Elite ISO, because it was a definite scary time period in PvP when Bruisers were wearing that ISO, and if you went into combat with three Bruisers and you had to try to find who had it, was it Beta Ray Bill? Was it Molly? Was it the Agent? Was it Kurth? Which is one of the worst ones because it would cause the double drain because she was unstunnable. Yeah, it was always looking for Jack in the Box. Where's the Elite ISO out there? Luke Cage or Kurth wearing that. The fact that there's two worthy that it could have gone on with Bruiser Kurth and Bruiser Null. Very, very scary ISO. Emma was the one who made the most benefit out of the pre-firing Infiltrator ISO, although Infiltrator Pesty Beast could technically be just as scary, because if you got hit with the Nano Plague and the Generalized, yeah, well then there goes half your strategy right there. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was Thursday Night Fights. We were ready to rumble, minus that little crash over there, and we will change it up for next week, but God, I'll tell you, I don't want to change this team. They did really, really well. Thanks for stopping by, everybody, and have a great weekend.